And we're back and ready to rip here on the Imperative MX podcast, episode number 4. And man, we are glad to be back for another week and another episode, bringing you all of the local motocross action from North Carolina, Virginia, and the surrounding states. Thank you so much for joining us this week. I am your host, Zach Newberry, and we would like to thank each and every person that has been enjoying the first couple of episodes already and the great positive feedback from these already. The episodes have been truly humbling. If you have not checked out the other episodes, do yourself a favor and check them out on Spotify or YouTube after you listen to this one. We have a lot to talk about when it comes to local racing and some professional racing and everything in between in the world of motocross. There are a good amount of talking points to chat about in this episode, from the Lake Sugar Tree 20th Annual Halloween Bash that I just got back from not too long ago, this past weekend, the Local Legend segment, of course, the Silver Valley MX Park AB $20,000 race this weekend coming up, some professional Supercross talk towards the later part of this pod, and much, much more. Make sure to check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and our popular TikTok channel. All of those links will be in the description down below. This is going to be a whole lot of fun here on episode number 4 of the Imperative MX podcast. But before we go any further, we have to say thank you to all of the sponsors that are all on board here for the Imperative MX podcast. West Virginia Motorsports, FXR, Silver Valley MX Park, Hydropower, and our newest sponsor that we have on board with us, Dirt Industries Custom Graphics. Support the ones that support the sport, like these companies helping us with this podcast to bring you these weeklies. We will get more into these companies here in a little bit. Helping me break down all of the talking points for tonight's podcast, the highly likable, hilarious, knowledgeable, and your District 29 2011 C-Class champion, co-host Heavy D.
What's going on?
What's going on, Heavy D? You ready to get into some moto talk?
Oh, dude, always ready.
You're always ready to get right into the talking points, and a lot of racing went down this weekend, especially from me. So we can actually hop into the first episode, or into the first talking point here, the Lake Sugar Tree 20th Annual Halloween Bash. And Heavy D, for myself going there 20 years, this one might have been one of the best ones. It was funny, the vibe was good, hoodie motos, all around really, really good fun.
Oh man, I seen some pictures and vids. It looked like it was pretty sick this year for sure.
Yeah, man, it was honestly awesome. The racing was really good. Imperative MX put up $200, so $100 for both of the Super Mini class and also the 450 Pro, which was actually the Open AB All-Star, I think is what they called it. But Evan Talbot, who is a local professional that does some nationals here and there, he was the rider to get the whole shot in both of the motos for the Imperative MX $100 whole shot. So I told him that on the gate right before he went. I said, okay, I want to give this $100 to somebody that's local. So there was like 2 or 3 riders that were pretty local. So I was hoping one of them would walk away from it, and Evan did. So do you know much about Evan Talbot, Heavy D?
I feel like if I saw him, I would know. I've heard of the name, and I'm pretty sure I've seen him a pretty good bit before.
Yeah, he's from the Danville, Axton, Lake Sugar Tree, Birch Creek Motorsports Park area, and just a very, very fast local. And like I said, he goes to the Nationals, and he's quick, man. I rode the pro class on Sunday out on the motocross track, and yeah, man, he spanked me, that's for sure. But other than Evan Talbot, Noah Stevens ended up showing up, and we know Noah. He got a moto win this year at Loretta's, podium guy, second right behind Casey Cochran in the Schoolboy 1 class. So it was cool for Noah Stevens to show up, Heavy D.
Oh, dude, that's Noah. That's why I like Noah, dude. He goes and he just goes and races anywhere he can, which is good. You know, he's one of the top national riders out there right now. I think didn't he win a championship at Loretta's?
No, he didn't win a championship, but he did win a moto.
Okay, yeah. So he won a moto, but I mean, still, like, dude, you win a moto at Loretta's, like, that ain't no easy task.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, no kidding, and yeah, he's really put on the grind for sure. I know he'd been working down there at with Matt Walker, Moto X compound all year this year, moving or heading into Loretta's, and I did a short little snippet of him, a write up on the Imperative MX website right after Loretta's, and man, he really opened up some eyes, that's for sure, especially to take a moto win away from some of the top favorites in that class. You had Logan Best, you had Casey Cochran, you had Noah Stevens, and many, many more. So it was cool for Noah to make his way on up and come out for the Halloween Bash. That's really what he came out for, was just the Halloween Bash. He was not there on Sunday, so he drove all the way up just to do the Supercross 20th annual Halloween Bash.
oh man,
Yep. Yep.
that's like true support right there. I mean, that's sick. Even though, like, he still came and raced one day, but like just to drive all the way like that far just to race, like, I mean, that's sick.
Yeah, that you have to give credit where credit's due, right? For like we talk about here on the Imperative MX podcast, go to these local races, go and support the ones that supported you on your way up, and go to some of these races. And I'm sure that Noah, is as soft spoken as he is. I'm sure that he had a blast, and it looked like he did the amount of times that I saw him. So that was cool. Heavy D, there was 42 classes. They started practice at 10 a.m. and they ran 2 motos for 42 classes. And they finished right at 7:30, like they said they would, to start some of the Halloween stuff. But that is a lot of classes, and there was a lot of folks there, Heavy D.
Dude, you wanna know what's crazy? For that many classes and to know exactly when you're gonna get done, that, I mean, that says a lot. Like, they don't mess around, and for it to even finish at 7:30 and put on a fantastic show, like, I mean, you got to give hats off to that crew. To do that, that's hard to do.
Yeah, and I was going to actually talk about this later, but I feel like since you said it already, Ryan, his family, parents, all of that put in 100% for this event, and honestly, the track showed it. 402 came in and redid the Supercross layout, and from the people that I talked to, they seemed to really, really enjoy it, and the dirt stuck, Heavy D. Like, it didn't turn blue groove. There was ruts. It was choppy. But overall, even the moto track on Sunday was a different Lake Sugartree dirt than what I'm used to. Not saying that they added anything, but the way that they prepared it and prepped it was completely different. And honestly, Heavy D, it threw me off guard, especially on the moto track. But for the Halloween Bash, everybody seemed to enjoy it, especially that new layout.
Oh, dude, that's awesome, man. Like, to put, and like I always say, I always try to say it because I don't want anybody to think, any track promoters, any track owners, anybody to think I'm discrediting them. But like, that says a lot. Like, for an event, like, you bring in everybody and you spare no expense to put on a good show. Like, I feel like that's what it's all about, and that's how it should be. You know what I mean? Like, it ain't just like, we're trying to get your dollar, so come race. Let's blow through it, get it done. The track is what it is. You got track time, and then send everybody home. It's like, you come there, you go all out on the track, spare no expense, make sure track's prime, fantastic conditions all day to race on, and put on a fantastic show, and make sure people want to come back. And honestly, it shows, because that's why people do come back every year. And that's why the Halloween Bash is as big as it is because of what they do,
Absolutely. And the costume contest was awesome. There, from all the way, infant, all the way up until, 80, or well, I'd really say probably like the highest person that I saw was maybe like in their 50s, maybe, if that. They had a costume on, so, but regardless of the fact, they had different groups, and it was really, really cool to see. I saw Minions, I saw a lot of werewolves, I saw the Grinch. Somebody had the Grinch on Halloween. That one should have won, to be honest.
I never would have thought of that one.
I don't know, but it was a good one, and I showed you the pictures of myself and my girlfriend with our little alien costumes that we had walking around. So
I was gonna bring that up. That y'all had some funny ass costumes.
Yeah, man, it was funny. She bought it off Amazon, and I was like, okay, kind of whatever, right? And you go and you put it on and you deflate it, and then you finally, you're kind of looking at it as you're putting it on, and it's it's inflating itself. And then Nicole turned around, my girlfriend, she turned around and she took a picture of me, and I looked at it, and when I first looked at it, I just started dying laughing, because I'm like, bro, anybody that sees me right now wearing this is just going to start dying laughing. And especially Nicole's. Nicole's face in that one picture was honestly one of the funniest things, and I had no idea that she was doing it either until I saw the picture afterwards, and then I just laughed even harder.
What's so funny is I seen that and it had me so thrilled. That picture had me
like she was actually getting abducted.
Look, I was looking like, where are her feet at? That's what I was thinking the whole time. Like, it sounds jacked up, but I was like, where are her feet? Like, how is she in that costume?
Yeah.
And who was holding her up like that?
Oh man, it was a fun time, and my buddy Charlie and my buddy Justin, that's who I'd stayed with and camped with, so I appreciate them for all their hospitality everywhere. Charlie Forbes and Justin Kendrick. Justin ended up he did not race on Saturday, but he raced on Sunday, and he ended up winning the 30-plus class. So that was cool for Justin to get his confidence up, as I know him as a personal rider. But Charlie just went out and bought a brand new YZ 252 stroke, and he shows up on the gate in a banana suit.
Dude, the banana and the number took me out.
Yeah, the number took me out already, and because I'm parking with him, right? I had no idea that he had this suit. Well, he knew that I had just gone up there to take some pictures or videos or whatever it shall be, and I'm kind of waiting for him, on the gate, and I'm like, man, he's got to be pulling up anytime. And sure enough, all I see is the top of the banana just wiggling, coming down through the we're staging. And oh my gosh, man, I was dying laughing because I couldn't believe what he had on, and he went out there and raced like that. It was honestly hilarious.
Was it like a successful ordeal for him to race in that unit?
Yes. No tears, no rips. He didn't say that it really messed him up. Not that he was actually really going out there and trying. You know what I'm saying? He was probably trying to, but regardless of the fact, it was just so much fun. It went all the way up until the night festivities. They had pumpkin carving contest as soon as the costume contest got done, and the greatest costume that won the adults was Jaden Vieira and Sawyer Beck, who showed up on a small little Kawasaki, like, I don't even know. It's a small little, like, we'll call it a moped. I know it's not a moped, but we're gonna call it a moped. Ended up coming up the finish line jump of the Supercross track where everybody was standing, and they were last. That ended up coming up, and they were on this moped, like, arguing and bickering with each other to be Dumb and Dumber. And honestly, it was the most perfect fit for them too.
Oh my gosh!
And
good gracious!
And the funniest thing, Heavy D, is that when they rolled up, Sawyer or Jaden, I can't remember which one, was on top of each other's backs, like getting off of the motorcycle, and then when they got off, they started fighting with each other. And I was like, dude, this is perfect. This is honestly perfect.
Did they win?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
That takes a lot of effort. Like, I mean, that's no easy one to pull off.
Yeah, no, and this is at like 8:15, maybe 8:30 at this time. I'm not sure, but I know that Jaden came up to me maybe an hour or two before and said, all right, man, we're going to go and get ready. So they took like an hour and a half to get themselves ready for what they were, for the main event,
It was probably arguing in the hour and a half.
Oh, they were probably arguing on how to put their ties together.
Dude,
oh my gosh.
That's fantastic. I love it.
And you know what's so good too is that just the environment, the fall weather, right? It's Halloween. Everybody goes trick or treating, RV decorations, pumpkins, all of this good stuff. And Ryan and the whole crew at Lake Sugar Tree did a phenomenal job this year with the track prep, with the design, with the structure, everything. And honestly, I'm not even going to be afraid to say it that I believe that all around this was the best Lake Sugar Tree Halloween bash that I've ever attended, which, well, realistically, Heavy D, it would be all of them, but yeah, it was the best one.
Dude, I gotta go to one. I need to go. Like, I know I'm like saying it, but I really need to go because they sound so sick. Like, just the atmosphere of it, like how everything goes down. Like, seeing videos of it, I was like, I actually wish I was there right now. Just to be around like the atmosphere of that race right now would be so sick.
Yeah, and everybody was having a great time, and everybody was laughing. It's towards the end of the year, right? So everything's starting to calm down, and that's why it's one of my favorite events, is for all of those reasons that we just talked about for the last couple of minutes here on the Imperative MX podcast, talking about the Lake Sugar Tree 20th Annual Halloween Bash. And before we move into the next topic, we have to give a huge shout out to West Virginia Motorsports. If you are looking for your next ride, look no further than my friends over at West Virginia Motorsports. Find your key to fun if you are looking around the area for a brand new pre-owned motorcycle, dirt bike, and or ATV. So make sure you stop by, and don't forget to order your parts for your current bike through West Virginia Motorsports or alongside walking out the door with that brand new ride. And like I say, always Heavy D, don't forget those oil and air filters. You know what was one of the funniest things is that on Sunday, speaking of air filters, the one thing that I hate.
I knew it was coming.
The one thing that I hate about air filters is when you open up a new air filter, one of the pre-oiled ones, and it doesn't have the gloves in it already. So you just got oily, sticky hands pretty much all day, unless you can find some Gojo or some degreaser or something to try and get that stuff off.
Oh, dude, yes. I don't. Have you ever? Okay, this is gonna sound. I cannot be the only one, but have you ever like opened up a fresh filter that's pre-oiled and dropped it in the dirt?
Yes.
Dude,
your life is your life feels ruined at that moment.
Dude, I've done that. Oh man. Oh, I'm not gonna lie. It makes me pissy warm just thinking about when I've done that before.
It just boils your insides because you're just so heated, and there's nothing you can do. There's no way you're getting it all out, and there's no way you're sticking it back in your motorcycle.
Oh, dude, let me tell you, speaking of air filters, people are going to be like, how in the hell you do? I set my air filter on fire one time.
Huh?
Yeah.
All right, Heavy D. All right, this wasn't in the schedule here, but let's hear this one.
So, God, you remember, I don't know if it's still in bit. I'm pretty sure. You know, like the PJ1 air filter spray?
Yep.
So, my dad used to get the super taggy stuff. And it's funny I'm bringing this up, but I never forget. So this was years ago, and Justin Brayton was having a ride day out at Wide Open, which is now Dreamville MX.
Yep.
And so, like, I cut out of school that day, and because it was during the week, it was on a Friday. So that Thursday night, dude, I'm pumped. I'm getting my bike ready, and dude, it was cold as shit that night in that shop. And like that spray, if it got cold, it wouldn't tack up. It would just be cold and runny.
Right.
And so if you would like put it on, and if you put like a lot on, it would leak into your airbox. So I had a heater out there, one of them like blow up propane heaters that blew fire out,
Uh-huh.
And so, dumb me, I'm thinking I had this brilliant idea, like, I could just sit this unit in front of this fucking fire, and it'll like warm it up and tack up. No, immediately caught on fire, melted the cage and all.
Oh my
Dude,
God.
I had no more cages. Dude, I was dreading taking that thing in the house to show my parents. I mean,
Yeah. That's almost as bad as getting hurt on the pit bike and having to go and tell your parents at the track when you're getting ready to go and race that, hey, I actually hurt myself on the pit bike. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go out and race.
Dude, I went and took the air for the cage, and I tried to cool it off. I took it to our well house and tried to spray it off, hoping it wouldn't melt.
Oh, and I guess it didn't go well for you.
Oh no, it melted down, dude. My dad was pissy warm. He was so pissed. Oh my God, he was so mad. Dude, he was livid. He was like, if I could explain how mad he was, my mom just looked at me like, you dumbass. Like, why would you do that? So you got one parent that's mad, and the other one giving you the dumbass look. Like, you ain't that stupid. Matter of fact, you shouldn't even be stupid.
Yeah, that sounds exactly like both of my parents. That's hilarious.
So, I mean, anyway, but we ended up going to Jeff Lomax's over at Keep It Reason the next morning and getting an air filter cage. And my dad was so pissed, dude. And he told that story, and Jeff looked at me like, "You're a dumbass."
Yeah. I mean, oh man, sometimes the things that you do, and hey, you know what? You live and you learn,
Oh yeah, dude, you do. Of course, young and dumb. I'm still dumb at times.
That was the longest ad read I think that we've had for one ad read. So make sure to go and check out West Virginia Motorsports if you need anything for your dirt bike, ATV, side by side, or just stop by and get some parts or say hello to some of the parts guys. Moving into the next topic, Heavy D, we're going to talk about Silver Valley MX Park, and I am on the way tomorrow. I have everything ready. It is all packed up. The only thing I have to do tomorrow is come home, let the dogs out, put the pit bike in the back of the truck, and we riding.
Dude, everybody's leaving tomorrow. Like, dude.
You've heard multiple people that are leaving tomorrow?
Yeah.
Let's go. I'm telling you, this is a big event, Heavy D. You know this.
Yeah, I'm like, dude. Should I be skipping work or what?
I mean, this guy is.
He said, "Forget work. I'm going to ride dirt bike this weekend."
Yeah. Oh man, I'm so excited, Heavy D. I feel like this is going to be a big turnout. There is a lot of money on the line. 20 minutes plus one lap. There's going to be a cornhole tournament on Friday. There's going to be live music. There's going to be a lot of racing from young to old, professional to age riders. There's going to be a whip contest with 2 jumps this time instead of 1. So everybody gets 3 chances, if that's correct, Heavy D, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's 3. Yep, 3 chances.
Man, that almost makes me want to bring out the Suzuki and just do the whip contest.
You need to. It's legit. It's legit.
I know, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see how froggy I am tomorrow. And you saw I cleaned up everything today, so everything's all fresh and ready to go.
Oh, dude, everything is mint. It's showroom condition right now. I've seen it.
Yeah, out there in the factory garage that I got. Yeah, man.
Dude, factory garage on wheels.
Absolutely. That's the way we roll, and yeah, that's where we stayed in. Was my 16-foot enclosed trailer. That's where we stayed at the Lake Sugar Tree Halloween Bash this past weekend, and now it's my factory garage here at the house. So it is what it is, But speaking on Silver Valley MX Park this weekend, AB All-Star, $20,000, like we said, on the line. There's so much to do, and there's so much racing, and this event is going to be fun. There's going to be a lot of spectators. I know that they get the community involved heavily, so I know that last year was a huge spectator turnout, and I'm sure this year I wouldn't be surprised if it, goes up even more.
Oh, dude. I feel like it will, and I'm excited for it. I really, I really want to see a lot of these up and coming kids come out and race it, dude. Like even if they're in B, some top B riders, like we was just speaking about Noah.
Yep.
I would love to see Noah Stevens come out and race that.
Yeah, I should have asked him. I didn't. I didn't even ask him. There was so much going on and so many racing, and I was trying to do some stuff. And yeah, I'm all the B riders, all the A riders. It doesn't matter if you're from Australia or California, United States. We want everybody to come out.
I know we're gonna hop on this topic later. I'm not trying to jump to it, but like even Dak signing with Star, dude, I would love to see him come out and race it. Like,
yeah,
dude, him. Danger Boy, like, why not? Let him come race it, dude. Like,
just bring the entire Star Racing Yamaha Goat Farm crew. Just bring them all.
Like him, Logan Best, like I would love to see them just pile in, come in and like 4 motos, 20 minutes plus one each one, and go at it.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like this year is going to be a barn burner, and we know that the current local legend of 2022, the People's Champ, Matt Burkeen, that his 250 is going to be singing out there.
Oh, he will be there front and center.
Absolutely. I mean, this is his job now. He's getting all of this cash. He just came back from the Pleasure Valley Travis Pastrana race, and he's coming to Silver Valley to try and take everybody's money, but we want everybody to battle him. We want this a battle.
Like, here's the thing, too. Matt doesn't shy away from it. Granted, he may be a local dude. He may not race the top tier level 24/7, and it may not be his full career like the rest of them. But he's still not shying away from like any kind of racing, professional, local, like any of that. So honestly, I feel like a lot of these up and coming kids, I mean, they may say I'm crazy, but hey, you should take note on what he's doing. Like, he may not have a ride, but I guarantee he can still hang with these up and coming kids, if not beat them.
Yeah, and he beat Rod Bell at, I don't know. I mean, say he was on a 252 stroke, so, I mean, do you really count that? But, I mean, he beat Rod Bell at the, Verb Top Gun Showdown just a couple of, weekends ago. On his 2-stroke. Now you could say that Rod Bell isn't used to a 2-stroke. That's fine, but I've been seeing him on a KTM 252 stroke. I believe. I think that's what I've seen at south of the border. So yeah. I mean, he can hang with the big dogs, especially at these local races. Like we always say here on the Imperative MX podcast, speaking about Silver Valley MX Park, that these guys can, pros can show up to these races, like legit top 20, top 15 pros, and these local guys will end up beating them. So, so you can never take away their talent for sure, especially at a local track.
And some of them, I get they may be like, well, I don't want to get hurt for minios or don't want to jeopardize anything for minios. Okay, like, I mean, you're going to go race minios. Yeah, I get that. But if you want to get ready for minios, come race the dudes. Some of these dudes that race in outdoor nationals, like it ain't gonna get no better than that. You can turn laps on your practice track all you want. I mean, if you want to get better, go hit a gate. And this is the perfect time to go hit a gate. And I'm not just saying this for promotional reasons. Like I'm not. I'm just being straight up 100%. Like this is as good as it's going to get for preparation, in my opinion.
Yeah, this is the local North Carolina, Virginia, surrounding states national on the East Coast, if you think about it for a track-wise. Now, you could say Budds Creek, right? But they don't do the prep, for the district, I forget what district they are. My apologies.
29?
Nah,
which one?
Maryland. 13, no.
Or are they District 9?
District 9 or 5? I think 9. I can't remember, but regardless of the fact, I guarantee that those races aren't like the Pro National, and this weekend at Silver Valley is going to be like a Pro National. And even if you're on 50s, 60s, 80s, 125, schoolboy, college boy, B class, you're not going to race the All-Star, but you're going to race B class. Like, come out, get this good, long, rut practice in. And yes, rut. These ruts
Mm-hmm.
are long, deep, long. I'm sure that they've thrown sand in there like they did last year. I know that they did that off the start last year, Heavy D, so I wonder if they're going to do that again this year.
That was sawdust.
Oh, sawdust, sorry. Not sand, sawdust, sorry.
Everybody, it trust me, it's like it looks so it's so close in similarity, but yeah, that was a ton of sawdust last year.
Yeah, so sawdust or, just any type of different texture out there to deal with. But regardless of the fact the track gets rough, track gets long ruts, the track is super long, so you're out there for a good while, even if, you do 4 laps, right? I mean, it's a 2 minute and 5 to 2:10 maybe lap time.
2:20.
Heavy. Okay, so 2:20. So even if you're riding 4 laps on and you're able to do a 2:20, you're still out there for close to 10, 12 minutes. So
Yeah.
and especially 60s
dude,
and 80s. I mean, you guys are gonna be out there way longer, of course, but you get the point.
Oh, I mean, honestly, like I don't think either of us can stress enough how sick this event is and how sick it will be. Like, it's something you don't want to miss out on. Like, I mean, you remember the Hawk Heaven Pro shootout days and how sick those were.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, I remember watching because I couldn't attend. I think I only attended one of them, and I think it was maybe the second year that they did it. But regardless of the fact, I mean, we can't really express how excited we are just over voice, right? It's more of an emotional thing, but or an emotion thing. But man, we're excited. We hope everybody comes out, even if you're not, even if you don't want to race or you just want to come and watch. We just want people to be out there supporting the sport. Come and find us, myself or Heavy D. Talk to us a little bit. Just hang out and have a good time. And in the great state of North Carolina, my second home, Heavy D.
Hell yeah! Like, come on.
Yep.
Like, show some support, come have some fun, get some good gate drops, some good rut practice, and probably some of the best racing you'll ever come across all year. I mean, come out, have fun, show some support. Like, I mean, trust me, you ain't gonna want to miss out on Silver Valley, because I'm not. I can assure you that.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's why I'm trekking the 3 hours to come down there tomorrow to check out the track. So make sure you guys check out Imperative MX, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook pages tomorrow, the social medias for teaser videos and that sort of thing coming tomorrow. So before we move into the local legend segment, have to give a huge shout out to FXR. From high performance snow rider gear to motocross wear, FXR has you covered. The continuing growth of FXR means more selection for you. Jackets, jerseys, pants, gloves, and snow gear, FXR has you covered in all of those aspects. Go check out the best in sizing, fitting, and venting, in my opinion, for motocross riding gear. I rode with my FXR riding gear on Sunday, and one of my friends that I was there with asked me if I really truly love FXR, and yes, I do. I've been wearing it for I think this is my 4th year now. In me personally riding, and I love it. Like I said, the sizing is phenomenal. The fitting is absolutely perfect. They have different lines to choose from. So if you don't want the Justin Barcia, tightrope pants on, then you can get a slimmer, or not a slimmer, but a looser pair. So make sure to just go and check out fxrracing.com. Find them on social media as well, and thank you for their continuing support. And every single episode, we have the FXR Lit Kit Award from the weekend. So if myself or Heavy D are at a motocross race or supercross race, we will pick out the best FXR riding gear from a rider that we see out on the track that deserves the best Lit Kit Award for the episode of the week. And for myself, at the Lake Cherry Tree Halloween Bash on Sunday, I was actually out there taking some motocross pictures, and Logan Rayleigh came across my screen. He races the 85cc 12 to 15 and the Super Mini 12 to 16 class, and the kit, it was the orange and black, and his bike matched perfectly. And Heavy D, I didn't show it to you, but I'll show it to you after we get done here with this podcast. But it looks super, super lit. So shout out to Logan Rayleigh, and he did really good over the weekend as well. I watched a couple of his motos, so that was really cool to see. So moving into the next topic here on the Imperative MX podcast, local legend segment, Heavy D, one of our favorites.
I love it. I love it. Love it so good.
And if you do not know what a local legend is a motocross racer from the local Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina area down here in the I guess upper South of the the East Coast United States. That is just balls fast and wins no matter where he goes and or she, and there's nothing that nobody can do about it because they are just that fast, and they've been that fast ever since they showed up to a race, and it honestly is just mind-blowing.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So this one is actually gonna hit home to me a little bit more than Heavy D, I do believe. But on this week's episode of the Local Legends segment, we're gonna do Jim Neese. For the old generation, and for the new generation, we did not have one this weekend. Hopefully at the Silver Valley MX Park this weekend that we will find one, and we will have one moving forward. But we're here to talk about Jim Neese, who is a local to the Greensboro, pretty much North Carolina area, Burlington, Liberty, that area. His son is Luke Neese, who is a professional Supercross rider now and trains at Club. He was on the SGB Honda team, I do believe, last year, and I'm not sure exactly what his future plans are, but his dad turned pro in 1992, 125cc in Orlando. He got 21st for his first race. In that same year in Charlotte, you would call that his hometown race, right? He finished 7th.
Dang.
Yep. So he was good off the start. I think that he was always I can't go back and look at the results for, I think, earlier than like 09 for Arena Cross. But I know that he was always a Arena Cross guy, so I'm sure that he got a lot of his expertise for Supercross, since that is the best as far as professional goes that he did was in Supercross, and that his best ever finish really was second, St. Louis 1999, the 125cc class behind Ernesto Fonseca. And he was always a top 10 guy. He was on Cowies till 95, and then he switched to Hondas. No matter what brand he was on, when he switched to Honda in 95, he got 7th in Atlanta, 5th in Charlotte. The next year he got 3rd in Atlanta. Then he moved to the Suzuki's in 1997. Top 10 guy once again with a couple 6th, a 7th. So, and then obviously his Arena Cross career. I mean, he did so much through that and traveled all the way across the United States to run the Amsoil Arena Cross series, what it used to be back in the day. And that was on the Team Carolina Express Suzuki's. And that's what I really remember about Jim Neese was the Arena Cross Team Carolina Express. It was him, Jim Chester. Man, he eventually had like Josh Thomas and Mike McDade on there, and Tyler Bright was on there, and I believe maybe one or two more local guys. But regardless of the fact, in my opinion, I trained with Jim for 12 years of my racing career. Every single summer, right after I got out of high school, or school for the summer, I went straight down to Jim Neese's or Josh Hall, who was a rider at the time that I raced against, and me and him battled all the time. But I stayed at his house, and we trained with Jim for years and years and years, and I got to know a lot about Jim and his family. And one of the things is that he was a guy that never gave up, no matter what would happen to him out on the track, no matter what was said, no matter nothing. It just never give up until the checkered flag, and that's one of the things that I constantly go by for a living quote, right? That you just always have constantly stuck inside your head to try and get you going through things if life gets hard or whatever it may be, right? But it was never ever give up, and Jim Neese was one of the ones that taught me that and actually showed it to me and proved it to me out there on the motocross track. So Jim Neese is a local legend for sure, Heavy D.
Oh, absolutely. Like, I don't. Did you ever train with Worth Hunter?
Yes. Yep.
So I remember me and Worth raced the same class.
Yep.
For a while when I raced. I remember one day I left school. I got out of school, and it was when Center Road had practice like some during the week,
Uh-huh.
And a lot of people didn't really show up. I mean, some did, but like he would bring Worth and a couple of other guys, and we was out there, and hell, Jim just happened to be riding that day, and I remember he was like telling Worth or whatever, like, you need to keep up. Like, you need to keep up. Like, come on, you got to do this, this, and this, and so on and so forth. And so, like, my goal as we got up on them bigger bikes, and like when Worthy jumped on bigger bikes, he was faster than me. So, like, I would try and keep up with him.
Right.
And they were out there chasing Jim, and dude, Buddy was rolling. I mean, Jim was in the gas, and it was like this hairpin section that had an insane rut. And dude come by me. I was like headed toward this rut, and he came by me and like legit stole this rut. Like I missed it completely because I watched him go through it as I was trying to go through the corner.
Go ahead.
He was laying it down. So I was like, all right, I know Buddy at least like 50 years old. You should not be going this fast right now, which he wasn't 50, but still.
Yeah, no, he's I mean, really, if you think about it, when I started training with him, which was really probably 06, 07, when really I think he did the arena cross, I think maybe more, or he focused on it more, maybe. Anyways, regardless of the fact, he was always doing these arena cross races, and I think that that's where he got his good corner technique, because in arena cross it's only 21 to 23 seconds a lap time, so that a lot of your lap time is based off pretty much the whoops and the corners, because everybody else is going to be doing the same rhythm. Everybody jumps the catapult. It's how fast can you enter these corners, how fast can you go through these corners, and how fast can you exit these corners, and worry about the whoops, and literally that's it. And that was pretty much the main thing that we worked on, even from, when I was watching him train Mike McDade, Brock Tickle, Kyle Peters, I think even PJ showed up one time. I know Tyler was there. Isaiah Murph was one of my training coaches there for a while. And it's just, he is a full-on local legend, and, he has been racing against, Kevin Walker and Mike Brown for years and years, and even though that he doesn't race much anymore, I don't even know when the last time that he even touched a dirt bike was, to be honest, because I don't see any pictures or anything like that of him on a dirt bike. I think he just focuses on, he owns a RV campsite now, I believe, with his...
Oh, Jim does?
Yes, with his wife, Marcia, and but he also builds tracks on the side. I know for a fact that he went to go and work for like UPS or FedEx or something like that, and this was maybe right after he got done pretty much training kids and started focusing on Luke a little bit more, and kind of switching his life around a little bit with what he was doing. And yeah, he just completely got this job, and then about a month later he said, no, I can't have a real job, because literally motocross has been his entire job, his entire life.
Oh, dude, it is hard to like just walk away from moto cold turkey. Like, it's hard to walk away from moto at all in general. Like, trust me, I've tried, but it just doesn't work.
No, it always comes back, and it seems to slam you harder every single time.
Oh, dude, it's like once it's in your blood, it's in your blood. It's like it's like an addiction you just can't get rid of.
Yeah, And one of the things is that Jim, we'd always pick on him for how short he was. But now looking at it and thinking about it right now, Heavy D, think about what we talked about in the last episode with the short stature of riders that are so fast. And
yeah,
Jim Neese is a prodigal son of that. So, yeah, Jim Neese, local legend, trained me for a long time. Supercross podium guy behind Ernesto Fonseca in '99. Pro for a really long time. Had a good outdoor career too. I believe that most of the time he rode 250s. He rode 125s in Supercross from what I saw, and 250 outdoors. And I think that his best finish was 10th, but it was in the 125 class in his first year. So that would have been 92 Southwick. He finished, I think it was 10th or an 8th. I can't remember right off the bat, but still, regardless of the fact, fast everywhere, local legend. He trained, honestly, a lot of the local legends that we speak of on this podcast. Tyler Bright and Josh Thomas. So that's just some of them that he's trained, and he's he obviously knows his stuff, and he's been around the sport for a really long time. So, yeah, local legend Jim Neese. Anything else for Jim Neese, Heavy D?
He's the man, I can tell you that.
He is the man, that is for sure. And if you want to be the man, make sure to go and check out Hydropower. Hydropower is a formulated sports energy drink that was created and formulated by a sports nutritionist himself, Garrett, to help get rid of arm pump and increase your endurance so you can ride safer and faster. www.drinkhydropower.com will get you everything that you need to know for this drink. You can check out everything on their interactive website. The almost 5-star reviews. I think it's like 4.5 or 4.7. It's like over 3,000 reviews of people that enjoy it, that love it, that it works for them. And Heavy D, I got mine in the mail finally because of my first order got a little screwed up. So I was able to try it this week in Heavy D, and I'm not going to say this for promotion wise and because I'm sponsored by Hydropower. And it's not just me. I let Charlie and I let Justin, who I was camping with, try it. And Justin came back right after his moto, and he said this stuff works. Because he took the drink 30 minutes before his moto, like it says. And it's not chalky. It's blue raspberry flavor. You can drink it all day. No crash, no nothing, Heavy D. I mean, I have it right here in my water bottle, and I've been drinking on it all day, even if I'm at work climbing 23 rail cars or I'm sitting here at home doing the podcast. I have the Hydropower in my hand since Friday, and you can ask anybody that was around my pits this weekend or that saw me. I guarantee that I probably had a Hydropower bottle and had some Hydropower in it. So, and Heavy D, I'm gonna get you to try some this weekend. I got a tub for you. So I'm gonna get you to try it for me and see.
I'm gonna probably have to because I might. I mean, I ain't trying to out anything, but I might have a few beers, so I'm gonna need some recovery.
Hey, this is premium or premier hydration, Heavy D. This stuff works, and to be completely honest, you know me, I come off the couch every single time, pretty much.
Oh, true facts.
And for me to go out there and not get arm pump and not get as tired as I was before is a phenomenal feeling, and that came from the help of Hydropower. So, I tested it. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's good. It tastes really good. The blue raspberry flavor, I could just drink that all day long. It's not chalky like some of these other sports nutritionist drinks out there, or sports, energy drinks or anything like that. So just go to drinkhydropower.com. They have lemonade. They have blue raspberry. And, check out the reviews. Check out everything. And get you some Hydropower. If you see me at the racetrack, be like, hey, let me try that. Let me try that hydropower and see if I like it. I guarantee that you will say that it is a 10 out of 10. And moving on from hydropower, we have to go into our brand new sponsor that is on board with us as well. That's Dirt Industries Custom Graphics in Rayford, North Carolina. And for over 10 years, they have designed, manufactured, and marketed the highest quality dirt bike graphics and decals to the motocross and consumer markets. Their high quality deals are considered by many to be the best in the industries. If you would like to get your graphics looking top notch, go no further than Dirt Industries, and that's dirtindustriesgraphics.com. This weekend at the Silver Valley race, Heavy D, we're going to have the 4 banners that we got from the amazing folks at Dirt Industries Custom Graphics, and Ashley sent me over, I think it was maybe 1 or 2, previews of what it would look like. We had to change maybe 1 or 2 things, and it was quick and easy, and it was at my door the next day, Heavy D.
Oh, man, they're, like I say, like, they're top notch. That's why, like, even before they came on board, I've dealt with them as long as they've been around, because they've always done fantastic work.
Right.
And I mean, it's undeniable. Like, anytime you get good customer service and like their work is just as good, especially for what you ordered. I mean, you can't go wrong. And honestly, customer service is number one. Like, in my personal opinion, like, you got to have good customer service, and they have fantastic customer service, and they do everything they can to make sure you are 100% happy with the product before it ever gets sent to you. And if it means them working day and night and around the clock to make sure that happens, they do it. And it showed. I mean, heck, look how fast those banners came in.
Yeah, I mean, she sent me the video of them being printed. Some of you may have seen that on our social media. But yeah, the next day I couldn't believe it that it was at my door. And it was great that we live in the same region, so it's one day even if you send it ground. But still, the time to put it all together real nicely, package it up, take it to the store, or have the person come and pick it up, file the order, everything like that. It was really, really cool to see, and I have never, to be completely honest, I've never had a graphics company do that much for me in such a quick turnaround time. So make sure you guys go to dirtindustriesgraphics.com, and you guys will save 10% if you guys use the code in all uppercase Imperative MX with no space. So if you want to save 10% on your dirt bike graphics from Dirt Industries Custom Graphics, type in Imperative MX for 10% off your next orders, or your next order. And moving into the final topic of the night, Heavy D, it's going to be kind of a short one. We don't have much to talk about other than the highly anticipated Silver Valley MX Park race is coming up this weekend, and we had the Lake Sugar Tree Halloween Bash, and now we're starting to get down towards the end of the year, Heavy D, and we're gonna have to start coming up with some stuff to talk about, because it's starting to get a little slim. But regardless of the fact, everybody seems to really be enjoying it, and this is a good time for me to kind of plug in my YouTube channel, since I just did a video on the Lake Sugar Tree Halloween Bash, just raw footage throughout the entire weekend for the most part. Well, really just the Halloween Bash itself, the Supercross race, but showing you everything. And I just want to say the support has honestly been unreal to Imperative MX. Heavy D, we're about to hit 22K on TikTok. We just hit 1,000 on Facebook yesterday, and we're at like 602 or 603 on Instagram right now. So the support from the listeners, the fans, has been honestly unbelievable, and this is the perfect time for me to say thank you to all of the listeners listening at home, in your car, with your girlfriend, with your dog, whatever it may be. We want to say thank you, and we have so much more still to come, Heavy D.
Oh yeah, I can't wait to see what the future holds. Like you said, support's been awesome, and I mean, it's only going to go up. I think people really dig it, especially hearing about the local scene, which you don't really hear about a lot. And And I think it really needs to be heard, especially, if you can get the word out about a lot of the local kids that are more top tier that don't get top tier attention. But what if, like, that top tier attention gets heard through us
Right.
about them? You know what I mean? And I think people dig that. And, like I said, I'm excited for it. And I couldn't be more happier.
Yeah, word of mouth is huge. Word of mouth is definitely huge, and here we try to help out anybody we can, especially in this small little. It may not seem little, especially when I just came back from the huge Lake Sugar Tree Halloween Bash, but compared to other sports, we're definitely small. So just trying to keep this sport alive, and especially the local community as well, and the local sponsors that are on board and that are reaching out to us is honestly phenomenal as well, and we're glad that everybody is enjoying this and sees that there's a need for it, and that was one of the main reasons that we started it, and that we just are huge dirt bike enthusiasts, and Heavy D's along and myself, and we couldn't be any better than the two people sitting right here for you guys as the listeners at home. So, but moving on from the sob story there. No, I'm just kidding. But the professional talk. One of the big things is that the local Morgantown, North Carolina. I think that's where Dax Bennick is from. And he just signed with Star Racing Yamaha. Now, is that is next year outdoors? I want to say will be his pro debut. I didn't read the press release to see if he's even on a 1 year or a 2 year deal.
It's fun. They very seldomly disclose that stuff of what they really got him under. So I want to say it'd be like a couple-year deal at least.
Yeah.
But I mean, honestly, I'm not sure what the plan is there. Like, only reason I say I'm not sure, I would say it would be to go outdoors, like the last 4 rounds, like do Loretta's in 8 and go like the last few rounds. But like after the whole like Deegan situation with the bike, I highly doubt they'll do that.
You don't think they'll show up? You don't think they'll show up with a Star Racing bike at Loretta's next year?
If they do that, I'll be like extremely surprised. Like I really would. Nothing against,
yeah. I know, but yeah, you do have a good point there. It'll be very interesting to see if, because really he's the one rider that they got that right now out of their 36 star rider, compound that they have. But man, did you see because the Yamaha intro for the 2023 450 and I guess 250, I think it was maybe mostly the 450 that they were there for. But regardless of the fact, the goat farm and the shop and everything that they have built there is honestly unbelievable, and it's really, really cool to see.
I mean, it's smart how they done it. Like, you think of how much money they probably spent in California having the shop and all. Like, it's expensive out there. So, like, by them building that shop and doing all that, they probably cut their expenses in half. That's probably why they can afford to have 1,422 riders on the team.
Yeah, and I think in the future we will be seeing a lot more teams moving out of California. I think I think we're going to see a huge load of teams be coming to the East Coast and be getting out of the Hollywood, California drag strip out there.
Yeah, I could definitely. Oh, sorry, I could definitely see that happening. I could probably see Kawasaki maybe in the near future. Somebody like a team like Twisted Tea Suzuki. And other teams like that. KTM, I'm not sure because they own half the damn block in California.
Yeah, and I don't know if Honda would even move either. I think that they would stay where they are as well. And to be completely honest, going on Cowie, I think Cowie would stay too. Because, dude, you got to think not saying Mitch Payton is there, but, I mean,
Mitch Payton's Kawasaki.
Mitch
He is
Payton is
Kawasaki.
Mitch Payton is Kawasaki, and he's not leaving.
It's funny. It's funny you say that because after I said it was probably Kawasaki, I literally thought, okay, that was probably a dumb statement because Mitch Payton is basically Kawasaki.
Yeah.
And all the pro circuit is out there. Like, ain't no way they moved that big ass shop.
Well, I mean, okay, so you have Pro Circuit Kawasaki, and then you have the Monster Energy Kawasaki, but they're not together, right? Like Mitch has his own shop, and the Monster Energy Kawasaki has their own shop, and the Monster Energy Kawasaki team, to I don't think they used anything that is Pro Circuit.
No, they use pro circuit exhaust.
Oh, okay, so they do use the exhaust.
They didn't do it for 1 year, and
Okay.
that was 2012.
Oh, 2012
Yeah, they used the FMF in 2012.
with Barsha?
No, with Kawasaki. It was when Bill
Oh,
Putter was racing.
Cowie. Oh, I got you. Really? He had an FMF pipe on in 12?
Who, Kawasaki?
Yeah.
Yeah. Go back and look.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to look at that afterwards. I'll probably throw it up here on the screen after I find it. But, yeah, I don't know. I couldn't see, unless Mitch moves. But at this, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. But regardless of the fact, it's cool that going back into the topic that we're talking about, Daxton Bennick moving into the Star Racing Yamaha, moving out of the Orange Brigade, Daniel Blair owned or managed now side of things. So I think that's going to be a good fit for him. It's crazy. I mean, you got to think Hayden and Daxton have been going at it for their entire careers, and now they're on the same team together, living at the grinding at the same place every single day. So I think that's kind of maybe not weird, but odd.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Like, so
They're friends though. They're
no,
like legitimately friends. Yeah.
no, they're cool as can be. Like, ain't no animosity there. Like,
Right.
they're cool as can be. But at the same time, so I'm pretty sure I want to say a couple years ago, I think they offered Dax a deal on Star, but Star was still in California. So I think that's kind of why he didn't take it, because Dax has a compound at his house. So at the time, he really didn't need to go to California that young.
Yeah. Well, and his dad was a professional freestyle rider, wasn't he? Or a stunt rider or something. So, yeah, kind of almost the same. That's probably honestly why they click so well, is because they have both of their fathers were freestyle people and have been around the motocross scene and all of that good stuff. So but no, it's really cool to see Daxton Bennick get the ride. He's a North Carolina kid. I feel like his future is bright. He did really well at Loretta's this year. His last couple of years at Loretta's in the B class on the big bike have not gone the way that he wanted to, but he made redemption this year to get that title. So, and everybody can say, Hayden this, Hayden that, whatever. Hey, at Loretta's it's all about consistency, and if you have that one bad moto, then hey, that's not on the guy that won. So,
yeah, and I mean, me personally, I mean, I'm not a team manager. Far from it. We'll never be a team manager. But if I'm looking for a rider, and like I say, nothing against Deegan, because, I mean, the kid's fast. He throws down, and it's proven. And I'm pretty sure he'll win championships in the professional ranks. I think Dax has the opportunity to as well. But I like kids, like riders that are can flat out fast. But at the same time, like, you got to have a consistent rider at the same time, a kid that can keep his head on his shoulders. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I feel like he's a soft-spoken type of dude. I've never had never held a conversation with him. But from the outside looking in, it seems like he is very smart, It seems like he, has his stuff together. Seems like he trains. Seems like he does the daily grind. And he's just trying to better and improve himself. And it seems to be working because Star Racing Yamaha picked him up, whether it be a couple of years ago or right now. So he's moving in the upward direction. So that's cool. Another amateur rider to speak of, Liam Olaf. That is Joe Olaf's. When I was actually looking at Jim Neese's results, Joe Olaf showed up a lot in that Jim Neese had to race. But Liam just signed with the NSA Rock River. I think it's Yamaha Factory Amateur Support Team, the same team that Logan Best is on and Evan Ferry. So, dude, Liam, I'm telling you right now on this podcast, episode number 4, that kid is going to be a weapon. Like, on this 250 and moving up, that kid is going to, like, I don't care, he's from California. I've only seen him race once, and that was at Lake Sugar Tree for the Moto Vroom Vroom before he went to Loretta's. But, oh my God, Heavy D. Like, I do not think that I've actually ever physically seen a rider. Dude, he was keeping up with Noah on a 125, and this kid was on a super mini, and Noah actually had to try, and I could see it in Noah. Like, he was like, oh shit, like, I gotta go, dude. Like, this super mini is on my tail. Like, dude, he was hitting sections at Lake Sugar Tree better than some of the pros that I've seen, dude. And even, I had Chad Reed and Josh Grant and Zach Osborne. That kid lit up more than those guys did. Well, okay, maybe not Josh Grant, but just out there on that kid is going to be a weapon, and I'm going to call it right now. And ever since that I saw him ride, I said that kid is going places, and I don't even know what his name is. I don't know who he is. Nothing. I don't know nothing about this kid, but this kid's right here. He's going to go to Loretta's, and I said that he's going to win a title, or be close to winning a title. And sure enough, the first moto that I watch, I'm underneath a rail car at work, and he wins the first moto. I'm like, no way. No way. This kid is really that good.
Oh man!
And I called it. And I called it out too. That was a cool feeling for me to be like I don't know if you get this from like maybe like ball sports. If you see them line up, and you're like, okay, I know what play they're gonna do, and I know what receiver they're gonna throw it to, or who they're gonna hand it off to, or a screenplay, or whatever it may be, right? Or in basketball or whatever, and maybe that touchdown happens, or that first down happens because you called it, right? Like, that was for me whenever I called that Liam was either going to win or he was going to win a moto. Like, dude, I was stoked. I was, like, jumping up and down. I was like, dude, I knew it. Like, I knew this kid was going to be good. Do you know anything about Liam?
No, honestly. Only reason I don't, it's so many Olafs, dude. It is so many of them.
Dude, there's 38 of them, dog.
There's so many of them. So when I seen them, I was like, all right, another Olaf. But I was like, all right, this ain't like another one of the typical Olafs. Like, this kid throws down.
Yeah, no, this is not. No offense to all of the other Olafs on here. This kid right here is not a privateer Olaf. This is a factory. This is a factory racer Olaf right here. And dude, to be honest, I wanted to learn more about this kid, so I went onto the AMA and looked at his results. You know that he lives in Cali, so he goes and rides Paula and like all these places all the time, right? But the races that he goes to are the big events. Like last year, he went and raced like I'd have to actually go back to get this right, but I know for a fact that he only raced like maybe 5 or 6 races heading up into Loretta's. And I'm not kidding. Like, this kid, yes, he just grinds in his backyard, in the bedroom, somewhere where nobody can see him, or he's just putting out laps at Paula and everybody's just like, yeah, the kid's good. He's a local legend here. I don't know. Like, but dude, to only and every single time he got beat by Fapani, Jeffrey Fapani, I think that's what his name is. He was getting beat by him every single time that he raced in these California races that he went to and some of the bigger races that he went to, and he finally got it done. at Loretta's and beat Fapani finally this year. And so I know that feeling right there had to be phenomenal because he had this Fapani kid all over him all year. He didn't know, like, I'm just guessing, right? Like, he's like, dude, I've got to beat this kid at Loretta's. I've got to beat him. I haven't beat him all year, like, that sort of thing. You know what So, I'm telling you right now that Liam is going to be a force to reckon with when he gets older, for sure. And he's just now getting onto the 250F, so, and he looks good already. Holy cow.
Oh, it's just one of those deals. Like, it's crazy, like, how some of those kids, they don't really shine that much on smaller bikes, but as they get into the bigger bikes, dude, they start to, like, just unleash. Sort of like Seth Hamaker.
Yep.
Like, he was fast on a super mini, but when he got on a big bike,
it was a game changer.
Yeah, it was a new level when he hopped on big bikes, for sure.
And that was the same for me with my career. When I was on 60s and 80s, I wasn't really that good. Like, I was a top 10 at the North Carolina state championship type of kid, right? But it wasn't until I got to the B class that I really picked up my speed, and that's when I became fast, if you want to say that. So, but no, really cool for the amateur side that two kids that that you or me both know getting these rides. So that's really cool. Dax Bennick and Liam Olaf here on the Imperative MX podcast, episode number 4, brought to you by West Virginia Motorsports, FXR, Silver Valley MX Park, Hydropower, and of course Dirt Industries Custom Graphics. Let's talk about Ken Roczen. Let's get into this conversation. Apparently I guess he's at club for the entire week, riding the 2023 YZ450, and I'm not going to lie, Heavy D, he looks good on that bike.
Yeah, he does. I'm not going to say he doesn't. He does. You know, I hope it works out. I know he's still out trying other bikes and other stuff like that, but I think for him, it's going to come down to, and granted, I've never been around Ken, so I can't say how that would be, but like some of those guys are like extremely picky.
Yeah.
And you know, when you get to that level, and like I said, I'm not taking anything from Club MX or their team. You know what I mean?
Right.
But at the same, you just gotta just sitting back and looking, and Ken may not care. I don't know. He's been around. He's been around teams that have
everything.
Well, yes, guys on guys around. Like somebody's there to assist. Maybe even multiple guys to assist on one thing.
Right.
And, you know, Club MX, they have, you know, their guys. Now, I don't think they have, I'm not sure. I could be wrong, like I say. But I'm not sure if they have the abundance of staff that the other top tier teams have. And that could be the only downfall to that, I would say.
So, go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
So you're wondering if they're up to his standards, like as far as his bike setup, the program, everything like that. But I almost want to come back and say, well, the whole reason that Jeremy Martin went there was so that he can get stuff that other teams wouldn't allow him to get, or they wouldn't want to go out of that bubble, like. Almost like the same thing with Tomac. The reason that he switched to Star Racing Yamaha is because he was stuck in a bubble at Cowie. So, was Ken Roczen stuck in a bubble so much at Honda that he just figured that he can't get out? And so, I mean, this isn't the whole reason, right? But maybe he wants to go to club that there's not any restrictions on what you can and can't do. If you're comfortable, fine. We'll make sure that we, get it or try to get it or try to make it or, whatever the case may be. But then you have to think about Red Bull, okay? Because you know that these two parties aren't separating. So, and to be completely honest, me and Nicole talked a little bit earlier. There's no way that Ken brings Red Bull to Club MX for Ken to ride for Club, right? There's no way that happens, right?
No, actually, well, here's the thing: they don't have an energy drink sponsor.
That's what I'm saying.
It wouldn't hurt, honestly. Like, I don't think it would matter because I'm pretty sure. I want to say Garrett had Monster at one time. I could be wrong, but like that won't matter because when Stewart rode for JGR, he had Red Bull.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. But are they gonna be okay? So let's say that he. Okay, so we're just gonna play this out. If Ken goes to Club, there's no way in hell that he gets the same amount of money that he did at Honda, right? For a 1-year deal, there's no way, right?
Oh no! I don't. Golly.
Because that's probably a $1.5 million contract just for 1 year.
Shoot. Okay. What was his contract with Honda, years wise? And I can tell you. I can't remember the years, and you give me the years, and I can tell you the numbers. What, 4 years?
So he had 17 through 2022, because 17 was the year that he got hurt. So you want to, yeah.
5 years. Okay. His contract with Honda for 5 years was $10 million.
So he got 2.5 every year.
Yeah, it was about 2.5 every year, I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, no offense to the title sponsors on the Club MX team, but dude, that ain't. But dude, they have a lot of riders too, though, man. Like, dude, I mean,
here's the thing. So, okay, so I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this.
Okay.
And I don't remember. I could probably be wrong, but this is just my assumption. I'm not trying to put words in anybody's mouth.
This is just Heavy D's opinion, everybody.
This is my opinion with this. Yes, they have Jeremy. Yeah, they have Phil, and yes, they have
Marchbanks. Yep.
Here's why I can say, and a lot of people don't know this, but this is my answer. I do know this. I probably shouldn't say it, but I don't give a shit. A lot of these guys have singled out sponsors. So, therefore, Club don't have to dish out money to them, if that makes sense to you.
So you're saying that almost the sponsorships pay for the riders instead of the team paying for the riders?
Yes. They got individual sponsors that pay for them so they can ride that bike.
Yeah, so for example, if you, the listener, do not understand what Heavy D is talking about, that's helmet deals, that is goggle deals, that's book bag like OGO type of deals, that's an energy drink sponsorship deal, that's a Renthal deal, that's a Pro Filter air filter deal. Whatever these single one sponsor deals are, that they're stuck to that one brand or whatever that it may be. On these teams that aren't factory, you can keep those sponsors on board, and that's what Heavy D is hinting to.
Oh, well, it's not even so much as them. These are just regular Joe Blow like guys like that just love the sport. It ain't even so much as a sponsor in like.
You mean almost like an investor?
Yes.
Okay.
An investor.
There you go. Okay, so investor So skip out on what I just said 2 minutes ago, and now switch hands to investor. So there's people out there that believe in these riders and are going to fork them out money so that they can continue to do what they love. Like, they're almost like super fans of the sport, and they love this one particular rider because they might have grew up in the same area, or the dads might know each other, or something of that sort, right? So these big investors are going to put money in, and these riders get policies on themselves. They get insurance policies on themselves. So if they finish inside the top 5, they can make a hell of a lot of money doing that too.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
So, yeah, and we know that Ken had also bought some Cowies that he tested, but to be honest, I never saw any videos on the Cowies, so that almost threw, because I've been hearing that he bought Cowies like a couple months ago, or well, pretty much right as soon as the Honda thing um, ended up happening. That I heard that he went out and bought two 450s, one for practice and then one to build like an actual, I guess, race bike. But don't quote me on that. But I know that he bought some Cowie 450s to test. And now, obviously, he's at Club MX. He was on the Firepower Honda team for the World Supercross Championship. So I really don't think it really depends on what bike Ken Roczen gets on. I think he's still going to be good, and I think that he could still win a race here or there. It's going to take a lot for me to be like, okay, he's a championship contender. But we know that the first half of these races, and especially the first two laps, there is nobody on this earth when he's feeling it for those first two laps that can keep up with him.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, I could be wrong. Like he could go sign with them and it all work out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I'm just looking at it from a different perspective. Like you say, Jeremy, he got away from that because he wanted to outsource a little bit more, which I get it. Like some of those teams, like Cowie and Tomac, like he's confined to one thing, and it just wasn't for him. Yeah, he made it work, but like as you can see now, he got with Star, and it's like, all right, he's a completely different dude.
Yeah.
Out there. So
yeah, it's crazy to see what we're witnessing here from the 4 or 5 years that he was with Honda, and now he's just going out and just giving teasers to everything and just make. And honestly, bro, to be completely honest, I feel like that is a marketing strategy because everybody is talking about him. So it's a marketing strategy, and honestly, it's perfect.
I agree. I agree with you. I'm not going against you on that one. I do agree.
Yeah, so his agent Steve is doing a phenomenal job. Is there anything else on the professional side that you've seen or want to talk about Heavy D that we haven't already talked about?
I mean, nah. I mean, I thought honestly, I think the Roxon ordeal is pretty interesting. Me personally, just because. I mean, you got. Don't get me wrong. Like, Roxon's had his ups and downs these past several years, but like he's a high caliber rider, and it's like
He's
it
literally
makes you
up for
has
grabs.
yeah, and it makes you want to like, come on, has somebody's had to like offer you something like,
Yeah.
and is it one of those deals where okay, like, yeah, but I can go do my own thing and make more money, or just do it for the marketing reasons, or it's a numerous amount of things, man. It's like, and what gets me even more is of all the people, he goes to club, and that's like the first one he puts out there.
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
it clear as day. You knew that it was club by the hubs and the triple clamp colors.
I knew by the track and the scenery.
Yeah, by the because the first one that I saw was the just a small little snippet that he put out, right, and that was one of the new Supercross tracks for me seeing on video, right. So I couldn't tell where he was on the property, but I knew it was club just because of the scenery, the trees and stuff. But it really, really brought it out to me when I noticed when I actually looked at the bike and I saw the triple clamps and the teal colored hubs that he had on.
Oh yeah, and I was just like, okay, like nothing. Like I say, nothing against that, but I was just. It really made me wonder. I was like, okay, like it really. When you bring up marketing, it makes a lot of sense. But at the same time, it's like, all right, I could, for some reason, even with marketing, I may say they may not be up to his standard just because of what he's dealt with in the past. But if it's for marketing, at the same time, I could see him going there and doing it, you know,
You know what I just thought about Heavy D? Remember how I was
What's
talking?
that?
You know how I was talking about that he may only do, or he may only be a World Supercross rider for 2023, and he may not do AMA Supercross and or motocross.
Yeah,
Club MX is part of the World Supercross Championship.
makes sense. It makes sense.
I
Yeah,
I literally just thought about that.
they
Yeah,
him and Brandon done struck up a deal.
yeah, dude. I think that's really what it is, bro. I think that's what it's gonna be. I really
I
do.
mean, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But they done struck up a deal. I mean, it only make like me personally, it only makes sense. I could see like,
Because where
yeah,
because where else is he gonna go? Unless he's gonna start up a team for himself, and there's no way that he's gonna go to Firepower Honda. There's no way he's gonna do that going into for Supercross and Motocross, bro. He would get so much more attention. He'd have so much more fun doing the World Supercross stuff. He wouldn't have that American pressure on him, and he can go and win a World Supercross championship and still make a hell of a lot of money at it.
oh
And,
yeah,
and it,
and he would basically he wouldn't have to answer to nobody because he would have a lot of free range with there. Like he would still do his deal, but like he would have a lot of free range because like
dude, he's Ken
Brandon would
Roxon.
do
He's Ken
yeah,
Roxon.
Brandon
Is
would
anybody
do
going to tell him no?
yeah, Brandon would do what he had to do what he had to do to make sure he was happy at all times.
Yeah, because you want to keep the most marketable motocross racer or supercross racer on your roster, and I guarantee that you will make sure you will do, especially for a club being the small team compared to the factory Honda team, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
dude, that could be a really big thing, and that's why I say, what if he brings along Red Bull to help with the team for finances for Supercross and or the World Supercross Championship for next year? So that's the only reason I brought up Red Bull for Club MX is because maybe they strike a deal where, hey, you know, part of this Red Bull money goes to you for your salary because the team, you know, is not acclimated to pay that much. So, you know, you're going to take a little bit of a pay cut, but guess what? You get to do anything you want. Nobody's going to tell you no, and you get to just pretty much do what you want and go and win a World Supercross championship. You may have a wild card here and there with Tomac or Anderson or, you know, Jet or somebody like that, right? But they're not racing the entire thing because they're staying here for the Super Motocross championship that's going to be next year. So
Exactly.
so that's enough on that. And yeah, this is the end of the episode number 4 of the Imperative MX podcast. We talked about the Lake Sugar Tree Halloween Bash. We talked about the Silver Valley MX Park AB All-Star $20,000 race that is going to be happening this weekend. And like Heavy D and myself said, there's a lot of people that are leaving out tomorrow. So make sure you are there. And if we see you guys there, make sure to come and say hi to us. You know, we'd like to enjoy your company and talk about some local motocross action. And yeah, good episode, Heavy D. Have to give it up to our sponsors, West Virginia Motorsports, Hydropower, Silver Valley MX Park, Dirt Industries, Custom Graphics, and FXR. So, Heavy D, it has been a great episode. A lot of good talking points, especially there towards the end with the whole Roxon deal. I think we may be the first ones to figure out what is happening.
Hey, if we do, that'd be sick if we did figure out what happened.
I know. If we just figure it out just now, and pretty much the videos just came out this week, and we did this podcast, but that would make us look good, Heavy D. And then if it's not, then it's not.
Hey, it is what it is. But hey, like I said, we give our opinions on what we think and what possibly could be. So if it is, hey, it makes us look pretty good. But if it ain't, hey, we had a good idea of what could have happened. It
made sense, and that's all that matters.
Yeah.
So no ink might have never touched the paper, but it was a good point for sure. So, but thank you to all of our sponsors once again. This episode will be up every Thursday. for the Imperative MX podcast on YouTube and on Spotify. So make sure that if you haven't checked us out on Spotify to follow, and all of the episodes will be there as well. So, yeah, this is it for episode number 4 of the Imperative MX podcast. I am your host, Zach Newberry, co-host Heavy D. We hope everyone stays safe riding, and always remember to have fun. And hope to see you guys this weekend. And if not, we'll see you next week for the newest episode of the Imperative MX podcast. We'll see y'all later.
See.